What up, everyone? I am the garden. Welcome to. Oh wow. Okay, that's probably gonna be a problem. I'm not too sure. I am the garden. Welcome to the Stanley Parable. What I'm planning on doing here is trying to find as many endings as possible. I'll probably do about 3 endings an episode, maybe more. I don't know. But starters, let's actually play. The end is never the end. It's never loading. Mobius double reach around, whatnot. It depends how many endings can I fit into half an hour. Providing loading is going to happen. Actually, I am working on a couple of side projects right now. I've got university coursework that has to happen, and cosplay projects that I'm insisting on. So, I'm currently preparing on a set of Homestuck horns. Trying to get into like handicraft, prop making, blah 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 blah. Why is popcorn here? And why? Why must it happen?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-reading, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Feels like a typical office job. Oh, here we go.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
25 past 6. 11.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So yeah, so basically we're going to probably go through first 3 right now. This is where it all starts.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We'll do all the left branching stuff. This entire office evades negative space, or whatever.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
not cost efficient.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
Move my
office,
desk.
hoping he might find an answer there.
It stays unfinished agenda items and reflect. How to settle dispute. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'll probably put a sort of like a line thing at the bottom. Displaying what's happening.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of
I like
any
the
human
wallpaper
life.
though. But
Shocked,
why the ceiling needs to be this
unraveled,
high?
Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh yeah, industrial. That buzzing sounds like FNAF. Button. With Half-Life specs. If I remember correctly, this is like a full-on version of a Half-Life port. Something along that lines. Probably Half-Life 2 port. 2 port. 2 Borg. 2 fort. 2 port, 2 Borg, 2 fort. I like that. I like that combo. That's an award winner. I'll go find more later.
Into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Yeah, I do feel a bit ill after that tuna.
Emotion in his chest,
actually, that's a lie. I don't feel ill after tuna.
To
Tuna's good.
To question the nature of his job.
However, tuna doesn't fit.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered.
Hang on, it's just a down button. Where's the up button? Why is there so many damn buttons?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We will look into this one later. This is the one that we're focusing on right now. We're going to go up to this desk and we're going to push the big button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
What horrible secret did this place hold?
That one up there.
Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Catwalks. Button!
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true nature
Fired?
revealed.
What?
Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
600
Stanley's
employees.
co-workers. Lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Clink, clank, clink, clank. Press select.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated
they need something so big for this?
Blindly?
Oh, hang on. We are going to try a thing. I was told of this before. At one point. So I am going to do it. Open! Open for me! Open! Let me. Please? Please. Open. Yeah. Open. You do a thing. Thank you. I want to jump, but I can't. I think it's this one. Let's go punt that button again. Kevin McClure, please. We have Paddy now. Give up on your dreams. Secret bros. Na. Let's go secret. Let's go circuit. Up we go.
No. He refused
to have disco
believe
lights.
It.
Yay!
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
I would like to find a soundtrack for this.
Wasn't it?
If there is one.
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad
10.
or content.
Paragon.
Walking, eating, working.
Home.
All of it monitored and commanded from this
Set
very
1.
place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Right a button. 5. I don't want to. We got a swirly whirly black thing. G. I can barely read half of these. This is too glowy. 10. 10 balls? What? You're all the same. Even those weird triangle things. I've seen a weird gif of those weird triangles. And there's a ball going around them. It's weird. What company needs one of these things? Probably a lot.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
And mash that button. Ah! No! Dark! No! Why would you do this? I see light.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
That's actually nice.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy. Very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
And we're going for on this time.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yes.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Oh, yeah.
It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now.
I am the star. It is me.
Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of
There's
them
a one.
is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Okay.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I turned off the machine to set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your
what do you want?
forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
Oh, delightful.
Though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. but I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along.
3, 2,
it's just seconds ticking
1.
away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
Green button.
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully?
Oh.
Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me,
find the red button now.
Laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
Mash buttons. You know it's good when your heart starts racing, even at something as mundane as that. Press the buttons. Make it better. Maybe there's like a thing on that end. What would happen if somehow there were buttons to press to make it work?
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
I totally agree with you. Let's get this all out of the way and find our third ending. Unless you suddenly got some tricks up your sleeve. And I end up having an alternative ending before I make the ending that I want. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We're going this way instead.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh no! So we're going to go this way anyway.
The door behind him
I hear
was
my
not
trousers.
shut. Stanley still had
There was
every
no door.
opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
But there's no door back there.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
That is a thing. Whee! Oh, the wind rushing between my ears. Whee! I'm out of AJ. Oh! Okay, there goes my knees.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated, as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh! Oh, okay, we're going this way then, shall we?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Ooh.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
Oh, so here we've got the credits.
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Wow. Some philosophical stuff. Why don't I like stand in there? Enter the door on his left. Filing cabinets. Solitaire. Finish that off. I just want to play solitaire. I might do that later, actually. That sounds like a good idea. Ooh, concepts. Concept development on office doors. Buttons! Yay! Whee! What's over here? Might look into some of these. Well, plans! Orange! Text! Point of HD remixes to wins. More endings, feelings, more writers, few ashes, more hands, Stanley. Maybe it's the same image. Was that cock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? Point of it is to win, point of it is to lose. Point of it is badgers. Ouch. More stuff. Smashing keys. Tape, 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 tape. Let's lay out. So yeah, this is just one big display room showing all the, I guess, art assets would be a thing. Ooh, levers. Sending. What's this? Sending model. My leg. Chair. Where is it? Here we go, sent to wait what gets the narrator. Looks all Tron-y. Tron-esque would actually be a better word. Who's the narrator? Kevin Brighting. I swear I've seen that name around. Thank you so much for watching. Stick about if you'd like to see some more ending stuff with Stanley Parable. But for now, sit tight and stay shiny.